Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 3 vs 3 on Bloodshed Alley. Playing on Team 1 as the Shogunate Renegade Guard, we've got Kia Terra 117. We've got Critter 256 playing as the Firstborn. And we've got Imperius playing as the Chaos Space Marines. Whereas on Team 2, playing as the Thousand Suns, we've got Slicked. We have got me playing as the Orks. And we've got Chaplain Franz Bertreus, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, also playing as the Orks. So yes, Bloodshed Alley. It's quite a decent map, as there are... let me get a little bit of an angle here to avoid giving you some... what would you call it? Motion sickness. Yep, so we've got 3 long alleys either side. Plenty of heavy cover on the left and the right-hand side, with lots of open spaces in the middle for some long-range combat and some melee shenanigans happening on either side. And for the first stage of the game, it's probably going to be a bit of a 1v1. So it's going to be Shogunate versus Orks. Then me, of course, as all the Orks as well, against the Firstborn and Chaos Space Marines up against the Thousand Suns. I don't think anyone's really got any major advantage in any kind of thing. I suppose maybe the Vistorians have got a little bit of a, how would one say, a tier 2 advantage when they hit that in the range department, when those gun luggers come out inevitably. And the Shogunate Renegade Guard, they're quite decent in close combat with their Tekkan warriors. So if the Orks decide to go for lots of big shooters over here, might struggle with the heavy cover resistance that they get to range damage. But hey-oh, here we go. The Chaos Space Marines, they're arming themselves with an aspiring champion and a couple of heavy bolters. Maybe if they sit on this side and then start shooting at people before they get into the cover, that might be their plan and stuff. My plan generally is I'm in the centre, and I know that the side alleys are quite vital. After all, if you lose a side alley, your ally might lose a relic, which is quite the pain. And so, yeah, I'm just going to help both sides and see what kind of happens. You know, and while also trying to hold on the centre, maybe even try and see if I can snag this critical location for any length of time. Yeah, we are seeing the Tech Priest move on forward. The Lord Regent with a squad of Firstborn. And a couple of Tekkan warriors and militias. Taking a long way around, actually, to get to their relic. But, you know, I mean, looking at the scenery, looking at the cover, I mean, why not? Stone Hunters are the first to get a face full of bolt pistol, or should I say slugger pistol even. Umming and ahhing whether to get involved in close combat, but the big mech could take it. He's a chunky boy. We've seen the Lord Regent, we decide to fall back a little bit and wait for some more lads coming in. We do have a couple of shooter boys already out and about. A couple of slugger boys will come on over, as we've seen that the Sorcerer Lord is struggling a bit with all this fire coming in. Ruben Marines moving on in quite slow. I mean, they're quite slow normally, but going through heavy cover as well makes them even slower. Grenade launchers as well being equipped to the cultists. So yeah, the boys will come over and see if we can slap them down. No troubles asked. Already got some floor lasagna left by the Chaos Space Marines. What faction have you gone for? What colour scheme? Can't quite tell. Oh, that's the eye of someone. I can't quite remember who it is. So many blooming symbols, I can't remember. We're going to push these guys back. Over yonder, Chaplain Franz sends a few boys over just to help us. We're kind of just watching. I suppose our reaction times aren't amazing. We are professionals on this channel. No matter how many times I say it. When there's multiple actions going on the battlefield, keeping your mic up is quite difficult. But morale being broken. And back to their side of the map on the top and middle parts. Lesser Zinch spawn being brought forth by the Zinchian Sorcerer dude. And that guy will just chase him all the way back home as we start going for a cheeky little decap on their relic. But the Tekkan over on this side have managed to decap the critical location. Plenty of Orks coming over there. We've got the number advantage. And even with the heavy cover, the lightly armoured militia rangers aren't staying up for much longer. Not known for their combat prowess, they're mainly just for capping purposes. Listing posts been slapped down. Historian Firstborn's got so strong listing posts with their plasma cannons. Just as like a tier 1 upgrade. Stupidly hard to take them down without losing too much of your own lads. But the Eternal Shogun, which is just a stupidly good close combat orientated commander. Even the sluggers with their massive numbers aren't going to be standing up to her for very long. Over on this side, the Rubik Marines are now quasi-surrounded by a whole smorgasbord of Chaos Space Marines. Double cultists on the left-hand side. And is that just one squad? Yeah, just one squad of Chaos Space Marines. Rubik Marines cannot really outrun these guys. Chance that'll probably die. Sorcerer Lord is just wrecking face. Cultist dead, left, right, and centre. Just how we like it. The Stoyans are now pushing back over. Listing post being rebuilt. As I do believe I've came over just to stem the tide of the Renegade Guard. Once I've came in, I've started falling back and moving backwards a little bit, as we can see the Firstborn Firstborn moving over into the centre. Chaos Space Marines now recapture their relic. Oh, and Sun's there. Not sure if you were auto-rallied down over here. Oh dear, oh dear. Full squad wipe right there for you. Look, can you narrowly avoid death? Potentially, maybe. Sorcerer Lord joins him to see if he can increase the movement speed, but I don't think that's how that works, young man. Good effort, though. Certainly a decent try. Back against the Orks and the Shogun. And there's just so many lads and lasses shimmy and shaking about the place. No bleeders added to the shooter boys for extra pistol damage. Surprised I haven't actually seen any burners. In fact, in hindsight, if I was to do this game again, I would have probably gone for a lot more slugger boys and a couple of burners. Just to occupy all these spaces, breaking morale. Not really doing much damage, but just being an absolute nuisance. I mean, we're not even going for like that many burners, just going for like one or two in one singular slugger boy squad. Stick them in range stance. Have a grand old time. Here come the deadly Ogren gun luggers. Dare I say, probably one of the strongest units in the game at the moment. They just turn up, melt things. Their fire on move accuracy is quite strong. Chemicals been thrown at the sluggers, and that's just a lot of DPS coming down in, and I don't think that does friendly fire damage. No, it does not. These guys are free to roam through it as they choose and please. Just the AoE on it really does force you to reposition. Chaos Space Marines now firmly around the critical location. Lesser Zinch spawn comes on forward. We are supporting them with a couple of shooter boys with some big shooters now. Heavy bolts are also going to be placed down for defensive reasons. Beautiful Eldritch Bolt from the Sorcerer Lord there. The second one as well, right in the middle of those cultists. Definitely getting that damage in. The Chaos Lord in the ranks of the Chaos Space Marines, so close combat damage will be a decent thing for them. Focusing on those lightly armoured cultists. Less models we have to fire at, the more we can break down the bigger and badder lads. Seeing that heavy bolter turret, quite the pain. We'll see a second heavy bolter turret also been placed up. Stoyan Firstborn are moving on forward. Just chilling out in that heavy cover for the moment. Got the hunters, in fact let's watch from the Stoyan perspective. Where are you? There you are. I mean, I'm looking from the Chaos perspective, but you know. Click too many times. Clearly I've just got a happy trigger finger today. Yeah, so a little bit of sniper fire from the flanks. We do have an engagement going on here. Big mech detaches from the shooter boys just to tie up the gun luggers. More chemicals. That's a remarkably short cooldown time on that ability. Not sure how I feel about that, considering the amount of disruption it causes. Also got Chap and Franz. Look at this, just Orks working together as Gork and Mork intended. They're having to fall back through the gas. Thankfully it dissipates relatively quickly, all things considered. But yeah, Franz going for that Slugger Boy meta. Beautiful thing. 30 blue to reinforce as opposed to Takan's 25. So Takan Warriors are slightly more expensive to reinforce than your regular guardsman unit. But you know, that's what they do. I suppose they counteract that by being good in close combat and all that jazz. We're going to come over with our shooter boys, activating their close combat stimulants, also increase their movement speed to help them run away. A standard bearer joining the militia rangers just to keep everyone's morale in good stead. We're turning over now to see if we can go up against the gun luggers, but absolutely no chance. Even with double shooter boys all packed to the brim with big shooters, one singular squad of gun luggers will just absolutely annihilate anything and everything. We do have the Daka jets coming over, but even then gun luggers are quite good against vehicles, and also the lightning strike fighter is going to be definitely smacking down these Dakar jets in a 1v1 scenario. My thought process here is, right, there's lots of stuff going on either side. How can I just be everywhere on the map at the same time? But aircraft in my head was the right choice. Yeah, okay, like I say, it won't win up against the Firstborn Firstborn's aircraft, but we'll at least be able to come over and get some cheeky small wins here and there. That was the plan. Hellblade, quite a remarkable piece of kit as well. Not sure if the Hellblade against a Lightning Strike Fighter would win. Well, I suppose Lightning Strike Fighter does have like 2 last cannons and missile launchers and other bits and bobs going for it, so yeah, maybe not. Maybe not indeed. Our Space Marines are knocking on the Thousand Suns door. This is what I mean. Able to reposition our vehicles a lot more efficiently than with land-based vehicles. Dakar jets are quite good against infantry. Teleporting around the backside, detaching that big mech. Just tying up things as much as humanly possible. We don't intend to win these fights, boys and girls. We just plan to be as much of a nuisance, to give our allies as much space as they can to take up and get their big stuff on the go. Lightning Strike Fighters are so scary. Really got to be careful with them. After all, they say it's only good against vehicles, but the AoE from their missile launch as well do a lot of damage against infantry. One Dakar jet goes down. Trying to focus on taking these guys out. Don't think I'm actually paying much attention over on this side, to be fair. Deceiver armed with double flamers. Don't think it'll do all that much against the aircraft. Don't think flames can actually fire upwards, to be fair. Plenty of Thousand Suns, plenty of Orks on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, the Takan warriors are doing a banzai charge straight into the Orc side of things, and now Lightning Strike Fighters are also coming in for some support. Warbanner on the front lines. Won't be surviving all that long if the Orcs don't push them back. The big mech, though, quite healthy in the centre, knocking people about as best he can. And the Orcs do seem to be standing relatively firm. Yeah, okay, they're going to have to fall back a little bit, but they survived long enough for us to come on over, give them a little bit of love. Fire still moseying on around here, there, and everywhere. Hellblade is firing as best he can, but no, there's just too much fire incoming. Even though there's no specific anti-vehicle stuff. Well, no, I suppose the Militia Rangers, they've got the heavy stubbers with them, so I suppose that does a little bit of damage. Deceiver pushing the Chaos Space Marines back. Like I say, double flame is quite difficult to deal with. By the time it's broken your morale, it then comes into close combat. Punches you square in the chops. Heavy bolts just being a real nuisance there. One of them being upgraded with a missile launcher. No melter guns on the Chaos Space Marines as of yet. They need to get to tier 3 for that though. Oh dear. Turned into mincemeat. One model at a time. Down over here, the Firstborn Firstborn getting a bit of a firing action up against the Orks. We do have a Griffin Thunder Motor and more chemicals being thrown. It is just so much range stuff to deal with. Really hard to take on the Firstborns in this kind of scenario. Their ability to make gun lines and just hold the line as well by just aggressive levels of firepower is quite remarkable, really. Do have the second Steps Grouper Stalkers. Which, how are you different from anything else? Oh, you've got like sniper rifle, las guns. Okay, fair enough. And you've got 2. So surely you'd be the first, you'd be the second. Is that how military naming conventions work? I don't know. The big mech comes in, throwing his weight about. He's got more sluggers with him as well. But yeah, Franzi, you've been on sluggers for quite some time. Have you got anything else? Oh, you've got some mech stuff on the go for you. So war tracks soon to be joining in. Got a little fleet going on for us. Also repairing them. Always important to repair your vehicles. Just in case they die and then you've got to buy a whole new one. An aircraft's quite expensive. What, I think I've got these guys on auto build at the moment. Oh, no, I don't. I've stopped that at this point. Yeah, still quite expensive. Got the Tunguskers. Do a lot of damage against aircraft. So the Dakar jets probably not wanting to go anywhere near them anytime soon. Thousand Sun's going to be pushed back as we fly on over. Also got double shooter boys and some tank busters as well, just for good measure. Halving does bugger us up just a little bit. We see the Griffin Thunder Murtat. Start to focus that down ASAP. We don't want that large plasma cannon being fired into our ranks. We've also got the tank busters, seeing if they can take on the tanks, but there's just things spotting us, and when the gun luggers see us, that's it, we're practically dead. It's not ideal. Only got 3 Dakar jets left, but plenty of tank busters to keep those strike fighters at arm's distance. Chaos Space Marines now over here. And once again, it's just really been back and forth for the Thousand Sons of the Chaos Space Marines, largely left to their own devices. And granted, we've had some Orc player come over and do some mischief, but by and large, it's just been fighting over their Relic. Dakar jets keeping the Tunguskers back with the assistance of the tank busters, wherever you are. So let's go over to the other side and see if we can see them. Ah, yeah, I've got 2 of them. Quite big, chunky squads as well. War trucks just chilling out on the bottom side as my listening posts have been slowly but surely whittled down. One of them, I do believe, has already been taken down this engagement. That's why I haven't really upgraded these guys too far. I didn't expect them to survive this long. Chaos now laying siege onto the Silver Spire as we see a gap. There's no vision for the restoring Firstborn. Then the moment Lord Regent comes over, is it Lord Regent that can spot people? Or is it the Hunters? It's someone. Where Chaos is not where we want them to be. We collapse on top of their position. Try and get a good surround on them. Once again, teleport around the backside. I don't know what these are doing, kind of a secondary teleport maybe. So much heavy bottle firepower incoming. Shipboys been brought down quite low quite quickly. Gunluggers coming in with the strike fighters and some regular old Firstborn squads. Attempt to rebuild that listing post, but falls down quite quickly. War tracks come on over, but not being supported by anything really. Will get shot down pretty quickly. We try and come on over, see what we can do. Flanking manoeuvres of aircraft, but the lightning strike fighters see us incoming. Quite low on health though. So see if we can blast them down. But oh dear, missed Landshot. Poor Micro. Losing a aircraft there, and also getting one down to half health. But we've taken down the aircraft, that's the main thing. Comes a Thunderbolt 0, able to kamikaze into a target, doing a lot of damage, but not quite sure what was going on there. Stuttering in the air, stalling its engines. Plenty of firepower, but the Eternal Shogun bringing in the Thunder before she's then given a bit of a squeeze and thrown down to her knees by that big mech. Malkador's very powerful tanks, arming themselves with lots of las cannons. And a... Are you going to go for... Yeah, the las cannon in the front hull. Oh, but you're not going to change your big cannon. Right, fair enough. You're just keeping that big blast for the infantry. The Dakar jets attempting to break down the... Well, whatever we can. Really go for that Thunderbolt 0 there, Mr. Landshark. Just almost dead. Go on, just one click. That'll take him on. Oh, Tank Buster's narrowly missing out on that. There we go. It's finally stricken down. And Takar now only got their infantry over here. There's potential to be flanked by the Malkadors here. Can also fire straight over this piece of terrain as well. Stoyans still with their Tunguskers, and now occupying my natural strategic points here. Real nuisance. One lonely tank buster trying to avoid certain death. The Orks think, right, well, there's no chance of falling back now. May as well push on forward. Not many Orks left on that side. Chaos Space Marines just point blank refusing to shift. They're in that heavy cover, and that's where they want to be. Now, I mean, they've got so many heavy bolters that even when they fire against aircraft, they still do a lot of damage. Another Zinch spawn. John's coming over, but gets shot down mercifully quick. No suffering for that boy, he just dies straight up. Don't think that we've seen Slick go for the upgrades on the Sorcerer Lord spells. Well, you can take them up a couple of times. I suppose also charging one singular model into a full smoke spot of heavy bolter fire. Probably not favourable, but the Predator is out. And now some Rivet Marines are all supporting it, so be able to push them back just a little bit more. We're just chilling out over here. We're trying to get a critical mass of flash kits. Hopefully, the flash kits will be able to out DPS the ranged firepower of the Gunluggers and the Firstborn squads. That's our hope. That's our dream. Also got some Mad Docs somewhere in there. 2 Dakar Jets still alive. Saving them for a rainy day. Things go relatively quiet. Calm before the storm. Double Predators. We are now seeing the Havocs coming out. They've got potential for some missile launchers at their current tier. Big push coming in from Wa. Dakar Jets and Tank Busters focusing on whatever tanky thing they can find. I have got the Big Mech's tank zap ability on the go. For whatever reason, it just wasn't going off at the time. I don't know whether it was a misclick from me or whether it was some sort of bug. I was trying to get either the Malkador or the Tunguska when they were standing next to each other just to get the double zap. But that was not the cards for us. Managed to take out a fair few things there. Just, my goodness, we had Orks here, and now we don't have Orks here. A war truck from Chaplain Friends. Anything just to absorb some damage. Now we've got a bit of call and response. Predator on Predator action. Predator won't stand for very long as the Firstborn Firstborn proudly march into my base. Big generator, probably the first thing that they see, first thing to be shot at. Tank Busters on the right-hand side. Both of mine and Chaplain Friends. I mean, yep, they get seen and then get blasted up. Good lord, what do you do against this unit composition? I mean, artillery, that might have been the way forward against the infantry. Keep the Dakar Jets on the back lines for the protection of it when the strike fighters come in. Leaving us Tesla carrier. A lot of damage against all targets. Yeah, definitely a very tricky set of affairs, really. But I think we gave it a good go. We gave it a solid old college try. I mean, I just love how the Thousand Sons of Chaos Space Marines, yeah, okay, the Chaos Space Marines have gradually, over time, been gaining some ground. The Thousand Sons really being stalwart in their defence, making sure the Chaos Space Marines fight for every single inch. Same with the Orks on the right-hand side, just pushing the Shogunate back. Every kind of push with just a mass of lads. No major tech for them, but who needs major tech when you've just got meat that you can just throw into that grinder over and over again. Here comes some... Oh, what are you? Oh, you are Hussars. You're in there. Charging forward. When the winged Hussars arrive, play the song, activate the meme. That, boys and girls, believe it or not, is all that match is. So, yeah. So, cheers, boys and girls, for watching the game, and cheers also to the chaps playing in this game. Massive thanks to you, lads. And if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week, and there is also a Discord where Discord things happen. I'm Mr. Landshark, pleasure's always never short, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.